to Downtime in the Apocalypse, a podcast where Ted talks and Kevin listens. Now,
He's Ted.
I'm Ted. Oh, that's right. We do have this formula. I'm Ted.
And I'm Kevin.
You know, just for that, listeners, I don't know why, but in my current place of work, I get a lot of random questions, and most of them are like conversations or something that you might have like questions about, but you wouldn't really voice normally.
Okay, right.
Possibly because the answer could be controversial or just no matter what, you require a lot of thought and pre-knowledge. So, anyways, I'm going to start asking Kevin some of these questions I get.
Oh, no. Okay.
So, question one, Kevin,
Yes.
is Zionism a Judeo-Christian value?
Is that really?
Yes.
Oh. Mind if I think about that for a little bit? Or how?
Yes, I do. You have...
No.
Okay.
I'm going to say no. Who asked you that? Why?
No.
They also know your name, or they call you that different name?
They know my name. They know my name.
Okay, good.
They do not call me Brian.
Okay, good, Brian.
All right. This one you're familiar with. Number 2. Hey, did Irish people just forget the oppression, or is it just that they can blend in with the English now, so they're okay with oppressing others?
Ooh.
Are they cowards or traitors, or just stupid?
Stupid.
Yeah.
That's the least. Is it the least controversial thing to say? Like, I don't know.
Hey.
I'd rather be stupid than malicious, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
These are actual questions I got, Kevin.
God. Brian, that's very surprising to me.
Yeah, Brian mostly worked in people's emails this week. Ted had to deal with this shit.
That's fair. Okay. So Ted, other than being asked...
Now that I have Kevin on the record for those not at all controversial topics.
I'm glad you gave me the third option of stupid, so I didn't have to choose the other
that
two.
came later.
Okay, good.
The option of just pure ignorance was one. But then the idea of, but they celebrate their heritage so much with shamrocks and everything, so it seems almost impossible to like just ignore the troubles and everything. So are people just willingly ignorant about the parts that are negative in any way and just want the Irish aesthetic rather than actually having cultural values? Yes.
You were answering for me. Good.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you could say the same thing about like Italians, let's say, for example.
Oh yeah, but it comes up in Boston particularly a lot. Like this particular area has of that.
So here's my thing as well. Like, no one ever talks about like Mussolini when they bring up like Italians per se. You get what I'm saying? Like with Germans, it's always Hitler. So
yeah,
it's never like Mussolini and who brought a bunch of fascism to like.
Yeah. Fun fact: his government structure is still in place.
Even though he got like hung and quartered outside of like.
So how actually? There's it might be worse. So
Oh, that's good.
Italians have 2 branches of legislature like we do.
Yeah.
And kind of the more important one, I think it's called the Council of Deputies.
Yeah.
Basically, if you get above a certain threshold of like 30% of the votes, you actually get a majority of the seats. And this was so the fascists could be in power and rule with an iron fist. However, now it's because Italians can't agree on a parliament and go through about 3 a year.
That's great.
Yeah. So it's kind of necessary. They actually did a reform where like the cabinets now have more power because
it was
getting legislation through without dissolving parliament's a nightmare.
Yeah. All right.
They needed basic government functions.
Oh, Italy.
Yeah. We can talk about Italian bad government if you want. At one point, they decided their prime minister wasn't going to be a minister.
Really?
Yeah, it was just randomly the mayor of Florence because he was a decent politician.
Oh, nice. All right. Does that? You ever heard of like Mexico and they were trying to like elect like a cat for president?
No, I did not know that, but I would vote for a cat.
Yeah, like I think the cat got the majority of the votes, but yeah, it was just so corrupt at this point. They were just willing to like vote for a cat at this point.
I mean, okay, imagine a politician who comes up and says, obviously not right now because apocalypse,
Yeah,
but in the past peaceful times,
yeah. More people, well, teetering on peaceful, but
yeah,
depending on who you ask.
comparatively peaceful.
Comparative
It
peaceful,
comes up
yes,
and
yeah.
says, "I will try to do as humanly little.
As possible.
Like, we will have as little change as possible. We will not add or subtract any programs. I will simply try to maintain what we have to the best of my ability."
Okay.
Yes, which I feel like is the ultimate conservative move. And I feel
Okay.
no, that's a compliment. I actually feel like that's like, no, that's hard. Like, I mean, soft sea in America, but it's like, nope, no, what we got is good. I'm just gonna sail the ship as straightforward. Let's try not to screw up anything good we got going.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what. Man, it. Like the loudest voices are usually the most like troublesome ones,
Yes,
right? So, it's the silent majority
already,
that
yeah.
that's just kind of sitting there like, I'm pretty okay with everything
I mean,
going
things
on.
could be better, but I'm fully aware things are. I mean, if we try other shit, no matter what it sounds like, it's probably gonna be worse.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be like an instigator, so
Yeah,
like you want to just kind of like, yeah,
yeah,
let things go and be as they are.
yeah. So I bought a bunch of books yesterday,
Yeah,
and one of them is on how like uh, particularly democratic republics,
yeah.
um, is basically a way for the oligarchs of a society to have another way to fight each other that does not involve shooting.
I see.
It's like, oh man, trust me, political parties are a great way at avoiding civil wars.
Yeah,
And I was kind of looking through the countries. I just flipped through. It's like, huh, he might have a point here.
I mean that certainly makes sense, and I would totally understand and get that. So yeah, no, that's about right.
Yeah. All right. So with those not at all controversial topics out of hand, Kevin, have you ate anything interesting this week?
um, uh, yes. So I remember going to Peppercorns with a friend of mine and a very new acquaintance that we just happened to meet that day, basically. And I remember trying out a few different things, but one of my favorites was probably the peach bourbon smash.
Ooh, okay. Tell me about it.
Yes. So basically, it's like a peach puree and like a bourbon kind of mash, the kind of mixture there. One of the bartender's choice, which I always recommend if you go to Peppercorns.
I always do that anywhere. I love when the bartenders get something for me.
Yeah.
They seem to hate it most of the time, but at the same time, I'm always a little bit.
Well, it's always offered on the menu. So what do you
Yeah,
want?
but also it's like, I mean, if they don't have that, it's like you
Yeah.
could just serve me the most expensive cocktail.
Yeah. And well, sort of like what's that game we played like Valhalla or
Oh yes, yes. Whenever someone does that, you always serve
the
them the most
most
expensive
expensive drink.
cocktail.
Yeah.
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 Uh,
It's got like zero alcohol, but it's got the most expensive. Yeah, because you get commission.
yeah. No, alternative. The best way to do it is actually you can get certain bottles, like reserve bottle stuff. Like one is ironically fermented green tea,
Oh
which
wow,
is called like the Mulan or something,
I love that name.
and one is a Simpsons reference.
Oh, is it like Purple Monkey Dishwasher or something?
No, it is a plum floating in a fedora filled with perfume,
Oh my God, yes.
and
Okay, yeah.
someone orders that and is very, very confused when they are served one.
Okay, that's awesome. That's a great reference. I like that a lot. Wow.
That one was great, by the way, guys.
Yeah, yeah. But that was pretty much my whole thing of trying different sort of beers and foods and such. How about you, Ted?
All right, so trying to think of things I've tried this week that are new or novel
Right, right.
that aren't that exact drink.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
uh, Kevin, you can't just say you and I went out for drinks last night.
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
All right.
I wasn't sure if you wanted to keep it mysterious, or if this part's gonna get cut.
No.
Okay,
I just wanted to be kind of like a dick. So
that's fair. Um, let's see, what did I have this week? Let me. So the problem is I'm working from home almost every day.
right, so that kind of limits your selection of what you can and cannot have per se.
Yeah, it, I mean, did I talk about my epic grilled cheese last week? I think I did. That was 2 weeks ago.
Are you talking about the? You say your epic grilled cheese? Is that the one that what is that? It's remind me because I don't remember at all.
Okay, so it was air fried.
No, you did not talk about this.
Oh, really? Okay, so I made a grilled cheese, but I took the fig jam from the symposium, and after buttering both sides of the bread, I spread some of that on there. I slow air fried onions and tomatoes
Yeah, you definitely did not talk about
together
this.
at like 100 something degrees over 30 minutes prior.
Oh, okay,
Took
okay.
the cheese. Despite being a block cheese, I did my best to thinly slice it into 4 different layers so I could layer it all.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Put it in the air fryer. I forget for how much. Flipped it over halfway through, and I'm not gonna lie, this might have been the best grilled cheese of my life.
Okay. I'm glad you talked about it because we definitely did not talk
That's
about this.
unfortunate. Yeah. Now I just like onions in general.
Yeah, onions are great.
Like I air fry them and eat them by themselves a lot of time.
Red onions or
I prefer sweet onions.
okay.
The white onions. Red. Okay, so both has to be cooked at certain amounts and speeds and all that. At least what I've learned.
Right, right.
I've had good red onions before. It is way easier to like mess it up. So like there's a sweet spot where it's no longer makes you cry
Yes.
and not burnt.
Yeah, there's got to be like that
And
in the
red
middle.
onions have a way smaller sweet spot.
I mean, the thing with like a red onion though is that I can appreciate it on like a salad, and it can
Yes.
be like also with like garlic feta.
Oh yeah, there's a certain thing. You have to be going for the pungent taste.
Yeah, so if you want just more of that kind of like hit you in the mouth kind of taste to it, then understandable.
Yes, but this was not the mood I was going. Hit your mouth and fig jam do not go together.
I mean, good. I don't know, depends. I wouldn't mind that actually. Punch me in the mouth with some fig jam.
I mean, speaking of Valhalla, one of the drinks is just a sucker punch.
Oh God, yes. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great game. Speaking of games, have you played anything this week?
I have been playing just a little bit of well, I've been getting back into Darkest Dungeon.
Excellent.
I love playing that game. I love the Musketeer. I love the Flangellist. The
Flagellant.
Sorry. Um, both are very kind of fun to play and incorporate.
Yeah.
I do not like. Well, I just call her like the Snake Woman.
Yeah. She was not my favorite either.
Yeah, I just don't like that style of play. I don't like the Grave Robber per se or the.
I love the Grave Robber. Okay, not even joking.
Don't like that or the Jester really.
I don't. Okay, jesters are really good on high levels of difficulty. Apparently.
Oh, okay.
Like when you're playing the hardest, you need a designated stress remover.
Well, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I do not play Darkest Dungeon on its hardest difficulty. I am not.
That would be masochistic.
Yeah, I'm not masochistic to that extent. That's yeah, I don't want that. Also, particularly because I took a friend of ours went to college with a guy named Zeb.
Yes, I remember Zeb.
Yeah, he was a beta tester for Darkest Dungeon.
Oh, that's cool.
And he decided that he was going to make it more personal by renaming all of the adventures after friends of his.
Oh, that's nice.
And I occasionally do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I do that with that alien cover shooter game.
Yes.
Like,
XCOM.
XCOM, yes.
Yeah. So that being said, it's just like.
By the way, Ted, you always die in XCOM.
It's kind of funny because in his I was actually like a badass.
Oh,
like I was an occultist, but whenever I got super stressed out, I always like got the good outcome.
Which is good, yeah. Like you had the beneficial kind of thing going on.
Yes, unfortunately, I was rendered fairly useless because I was part of the first wave sent into the Darkest Dungeon. In one, but after that, you can't. You can do all the side things, but never go back.
Yeah. Okay, understandable.
Yeah. That's such a good game. I love Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah, it's really good.
But yeah.
Where I got the tentacle idea.
Oh, okay. That's from his campaign. That's what I was imagining, but I honestly wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah. That being said, I think my favorite is probably the Plague Doctor.
Plague Doctor is pretty good. I'm more of a fan of the Leper.
Lepers are very good as well.
Yeah, I like those heavy hitters that sometimes just have a chance to never hit, and also just like the big tanky dudes.
Yeah, no, they're good. Yeah, it's enough. I think I always love like the fact that whenever I have certain combinations, the group gets a name.
Oh yeah, yeah, like the usual suspects. If
Yeah,
it's like the cleric, the what's his name, like the knight, and
Crusader.
Crusader. Yep. And then the rogue, and then the last one would probably be the plague doctor.
Yeah, I won with a group called the Femme Fatales.
Oh, is it all just like
It's
yeah?
all women, and I did not do that on purpose, but they just happened. It's like I just got like a really good trinket for the grave robber,
Oh, nice.
so I was like, oh, might as well. So it's like, okay, I got a grave robber, I got this plague doctor, I got a vestal, I got the barbarian.
Yes, the barbarian woman. Yeah.
Yet, I want to say the only two to walk out of that dungeon alive were the vestal and the grave robber, but it might have been the barbarian. It was definitely the vestal, though. It was a vestal and a heavy hitter.
Yeah. So in a different way, femme fatale. So yes, I get you.
No matter what, two of those people die.
Yeah.
Which I did not realize what I was doing when I picked those.
What's your what was the hardest not like the darkest dungeon, of course, but like hardest like side kind of boss to beat?
Oh, the siren that put him in the fucking pot.
Oh, that's is that the witch?
Maybe I don't. Whatever that one is.
Yeah, that's like you go to the woods and it's like the hag or whatever
Yes,
it is.
and they keep cooking them alive.
Yeah, and then they spill out and they get that giant. They were covered in like broth or whatever, and they fall out of the
that
pot.
one took me for like not the first, like the third version of it.
Right. Because it gets progressively tougher.
I could not beat for the longest time.
Yeah.
I ended up beating the entire DLC and then coming back to that.
It's always got to deal with like party makeup, I guess, huh? So
yeah,
it depends on who you bring
well,
with.
I looked up how to do it.
Yeah.
And it was if they're all suffering conditions, they can't be put in the pot.
Oh, so she won't put them in if they're like poisoned or
so
something.
I put all the things. No, it wasn't like poison. It was like I might. This was a while ago, but it's like like stressed out mad or something.
Oh, okay.
So like I put in all the things, just like hardcore stress them out ahead of time, and then quickly camp out, eat a ton of rations, and get that low so I don't get a heart attack.
Nice. Okay. Very.
So I
very
went
nice.
in with. I lucked out, so I had like two people who became like valiant.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then like one person who became craven.
Well,
and another person that I want to say became like self-harmful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, Kevin.
Yeah.
One more thing about that game two, I guess. One, I love what they do with vampires in the expansion.
Oh yes, with like with the state and everything.
Yeah, like the fact that they're mosquitoes.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
It takes away from like the sexy nature of vampires, but yeah.
Yeah, well, it's even like it shows like the the main woman that kind of tempted your ancestor, and like as her facade and as her morphous.
Yes.
They're full on Nightbane.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, and
same thing with the hag, really.
Yeah. And the other thing is, Kevin, Darkest Dungeon is one of the very few times where I firmly endorse gambling.
Oh, as a way to get stress relief?
So there's a trick to it.
Yeah.
If you don't have them with any trinkets when you send them gambling, they gamble random trinkets. Never do this.
Ooh.
If you send them in with shit trinkets,
I see.
They only gamble the shit trinkets. So worst case scenario, you lose things you don't care about. Best case scenario, money and powerful items.
That's really good. Wow. Okay. I did not know that. That's amazing. Wow. Okay. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah, just letting you know if you're playing in there, that's a nice little trick.
Wow. All right. You know what? I got to apply that now. So that's I'm liking that a lot.
Load them up with trinkets that you don't care about.
Yeah, just go from there.
Yeah, send that old grizzled war vet with 2 eye patches in there.
Oh God, yeah. or the man with the dog.
You know what? I always wanted to like that character.
It's kind of hard to. I'm
not even sure what they're supposed to do. They're good. They're okay at hitting the back. And they do.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like he doesn't do enough stress healing.
Yeah, that's the big thing with like the it's not enough to really be impactful.
No, like the dog can lick your wounds for like a point.
Yes.
And like, can that just be like the dog comes up to you and gives you a Jester if I want a stress healer. Give me that or the Dog Boy.
Interesting thing with that too is that it does have like the group howl one, so it can just edge it off just like
Yeah,
a
but
little
it's not
bit.
good.
It's not great,
Yeah.
but I think another big thing with him is like his camping skills.
The game skills are good.
Yeah, and I think that's a big factor.
I still don't think he's good enough.
No, but
as we do our best to defend this character, he's not a good character.
It's interesting to have like the dog treats on there and kind of have a buff the dog.
Once again, it's cute, but it's not good.
No, I know.
Okay, so actually, this kind of segues nicely into what I've been playing.
Yeah.
So I've been playing League of Legends Wild Rift, their mobile version of League.
Oh yes, how do you like that, sir?
It's pretty good. I don't even know if there's a chat feature, which is honestly kind of nice.
Yeah, no, I agree.
My one problem is possibly because of that. There seems to, I know you can kind of like go, I'm mid or something,
Right.
but the severe lack of coordination between random matches is hilarious, even by League standards.
I
and
see.
It's way dumbed down.
Right.
They step some of the old stuff in, which is nice, but the controls are a bit wonky as well. It's like you have to press certain buttons to target certain things. It gets kind of weird. Targeting's a bit odd.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I had 3 hands, it'd probably be way better.
Understandable. Okay.
It's kind of like an N64 controller. Like
oh my
makeup.
god. Speaking of N64 controllers, I'm kind of excited to play Pokemon Snap again.
I'm not.
Really?
I mean, I thought it was okay when I was younger.
I wouldn't mind like a new version of it. It's been like what, 15 years
at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll wait till it's I want to see if you play it. Let me know how it is, because I'm perfectly willing to be proven wrong about this.
No, you'll play it here when I get it.
Yeah. That being said about League, this is how we kind of connect the gap, because I don't ever remember making a League account.
Like, I played League some reason you have a League account?
I played a League of Legends when we were in high school, like the first couple years.
Yeah.
Which, this confused me because I did not have the current email address I used. And I signed into the Riot thing with my current email. And I had an account with a name I definitely made.
Wow. So what was the name?
The Goodest Boy.
Yeah, that's definitely you.
Yeah. Like, obviously I made this.
Yeah.
I have no memory. I don't know what I was playing with. Because that, like, they have an auto chess game.
Right.
That is not my account name in auto chess.
That's weird. That's really weird. Wow. Is it sort of like the Blizzard thing, where if it's like even one Blizzard game or something, then it just goes to all the accounts?
Maybe like this is my over account name, and I have like a sub account name for.
Yeah, you have a sub account just for the Dota, or not Dota.
The auto chess.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
Yeah, but it's the Goodest Boy. It's like, no way, I did not make that.
Yeah, that's you.
That is not a randomly assigned name.
If that was, though, that'd be really interesting.
Is that till they did it? I just like, wow, that's
very on character.
Yeah, nail in the head with that one, guys. You have some excellent spy software installed.
Yeah, that would. Jeez, that is really weird. Have you tried the Hearthstone auto chess game yet?
I have not.
That's the Battlegrounds. It's it's fun. I recommend it.
I would not mind it. I will try. Yeah, the League one. It's fun. I'm not going to spend money on it. I'm probably going to get bored within a week. Like, it's nothing spectacular, but if you want to, play around with it, like, I can imagine people really liking this.
Right, there's an audience.
Yeah. But it's not me.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing I do like, though, and I always thought this was kind of a pain in League of Legends, you know how there's the top-bottom starting points?
Right. 3 different lanes.
Yeah. In the mobile version, if you start at the top point, they mirror everything.
Oh, okay. So, wow, all right.
So, like, it's not disorienting or anything. Like,
That's
you're not
really cool.
And I always had trouble. I don't know why, but I had trouble going down rather than up lanes, and the perspective kind of bugged me.
Right. I see what you're saying. Wow.
Apparently, I'm not the only one. My friends who were really in the game thought I was like bitching about this, and I was like, but apparently, like, it was a big enough issue.
Yeah, if it's like a thing they'll implement to make that an easier experience, then yeah, people definitely had a problem with that. So wow, all right. or just one developer did.
One developer. Hey, there's one other person.
One developer had a TEDism and had to change that. You not like TEDism?
TEDism's that political ideology.
Oh God, it is. I forgot about that. I'm sorry, Ted. I forgot about that. That was a while ago when we talked about that last.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ted.
Yeah. Ted is not a supporter of TEDism.
No, he is not. Let's make that very clear on record. Even though you asked me those very loaded questions earlier.
I got last of those at work.
All right.
You imagine having that thrown on you in the middle of a work day at an office.
Well, yeah, okay. You know what? Fair enough, Ted. Fair enough.
And you had some warning that a weird question was about to happen. I didn't. At one point, this woman just looks at their phone and asks me the Zionism question. You know what we were doing before that? Data entry. We weren't even talking except it was, hey, does this person still come here?
Yeah, and then from there. So what do you think about the Zionist thing?
It was so random.
That's very jarring. Speaking of things that are a little bit jarring, we watched a movie last week, and now we are doing a game.
Yes, now, I reserve the right to change my rating after a week.
Yeah, and how has the rating changed?
It went up to an 8.
It
was a 7 before. It went up to an 8.
Nice. I'm happy about that. That's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. You really. I just don't think I was in the mood for it. This is sort of a bunch of guys hang out and have a good time movie.
Right.
I think I was trying to watch it to be a more serious thing than it was, and it took me a little bit too long to kind of get in the mood of. All right, this is stupid fun.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from on there. Yeah. That'd be kind of a expecting Event Horizon and then getting Addams Family. So I kind of see what you're saying. Yeah.
I think it might have been because I thought it was the good, the bad, and the weird, and then I thought it would be a more serious movie after that. It just wasn't.
No, really. Yeah. Okay.
My frame went from expecting super silly to this isn't a super silly movie.
Yeah.
But actually, it's just a different super silly movie.
Yeah. That's about right.
Yeah, actually, I had a conversation with another friend of mine about this, and we were talking about what we both thought was, and no offense, Kevin, once again, this is still a good movie. We thought kind of the better version of this movie, Kung Pao.
I've watched Kung Pao a lot, so I can see why you would say
I
that.
have Kung Pao on DVD, and I was very happy with it.
I love Kung Pao.
Kung Pao's amazing.
Yeah, I love Kung Pao, but one thing about Kung Pao, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just take me to a Radio Shack.
I quote that every time I saw Radio Shack.
That was great. Yeah. Now that's really outdated.
Yeah, right. But
we trained him as a joke.
We
should have done characters from Kung Pao.
Damn it, we should have done that. God damn it, that's such a good idea.
Could have done the fighting cow.
Could just be characters from the sequel.
I've never seen the sequel.
There isn't one.
Okay.
They was like, "We'll see you in the sequel," and multiple times, the sequel that isn't real has been referenced in that movie.
And also the other farm animals that because they appeared the chicken and
Oh man.
Yeah.
God, wasted opportunity. I made a semi-serious character. Now
should just make Kung Pao chicken.
Yeah.
Would have worked.
I am General Zhao's chicken. Master tactician.
I'm General Zhao. I was reborn back into a chicken, and now I will cluck and fuck your eyes out. I like it. All right.
Oh, that's so good.
Trained him as a joke.
You'll see the your foot to my face style.
Oh God, when he's fighting as a baby too. This just became a review of Kung Pao. So Ted,
Kung Pao, go watch Kung Pao, everybody.
Yeah, go watch Kung Pao.
But so I think I mentioned this before. There really aren't martial arts games for role-playing games.
No, not really.
There are sort of, Asian aesthetic ones.
Yes.
But not really what we're looking for.
No. Eventually,
Kevin will have me watch a version of Journey to the West or something, and we'll have exactly the games for that.
there's a really good Journey to the West movie that I actually want you to see.
Okay, well, there we go.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, look, these people are basically superheroes. And almost every superhero RPG, actually, scratch that. Literally every superhero RPG I've read, when they go through the archetypes, always has the Tibetan or Shaolin monk.
Yeah, the Dalai Lama that actually fights.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of owning slaves. Fun fact: Dalai Lama. Not great.
Not the worst either.
No, but I
Would you rather meet the Dalai Lama or Stalin?
meet or like have to like put them in charge of a state.
Okay, put in charge of a state.
Yeah, definitely the Dalai Lama. If
Okay.
if I could have a conversation with one of the two, 100% Stalin. I really fucking want it. I have questions.
You have questions for Stalin?
Yeah, I have many questions. I have way less questions for the ousted theocrat.
I feel like I could ask him some questions there too. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying though, but
yeah,
Stalin would be nuts. Yeah,
that's it though. That's exactly. That's like I don't know. I have many questions.
Yeah.
You know what I want to do?
I do not have many answers. Go to Gulag.
Yeah, I want to sit down with Stalin and watch the death of Stalin with him.
Oh, okay.
The comedy movie, which, by the way, I've heard like 8 people talk about how like historically accurate it was.
Yeah.
No,
not at all.
It's relatively. I'm giving it credit, but it's on like the same level of like Hamilton.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Or like Braveheart.
Yeah, where they just like, it's like, oh yeah, this happened multiple years earlier.
Right. Okay.
Oh, this happened, but it wasn't right until it was like 6 weeks later.
Yeah.
Oh, we just made up this detail because it was funny. Like,
Okay.
And some of it is very clearly well researched, and has some bits that add to the comedy, like a guy going with his over all the jokes he told Stalin with his wife to sign what his sense of humor was.
Yes.
That's real.
Right. Okay. I wouldn't mind also a Rasputin movie.
Not even joking. I listened to a podcast episode about him yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I listened to the Revolutions podcast. It's made by the same guy who does History of Rome.
Mm-hmm.
And he's on the last of the great revolutions. He's going over the Second Russian Revolution. And they just had an episode explaining how Rasputin worked his way into the Tsarist family.
Worked his way with his black magic into the Tsarist family.
The actual reason is remarkably dull.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, this was kind of the height of the mysticism movements and all that.
Yeah.
And the Tsarista, her son had really bad hemophilia, and falling could land him in a hospital for weeks. And
right.
They were worried he was going to die or in pain or anything, and she was just looking for some way to help her son.
Yeah.
And she was the Tsars were family and everything were very pious people, and they really believed that prayer and God really act on this world.
Yeah.
And there were these people with spiritual connections.
And
out of desperation for
some sort of help.
Yeah, but only they were worried also because if you don't have a male heir as a czar,
yeah, then
that's
screwed.
Chaos and everything. It really sucks for everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like ooh, this is understandable almost. It's like how did oh god.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely want to watch a movie about Rasputin.
No, I would be super interested.
I'd watch both documentaries and the Death of Stalin comedy about Rasputin would be amazing.
Yes, that'd be great.
I want to watch both of those back to back.
It'd be like, have you seen Jojo the Rabbit or like that Hitler mockumentary kind of thing?
No.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I haven't seen it either yet, but that would be also kind of interesting to watch. Not with the man because, no, I'm good. I'd rather meet Stalin than Hitler.
Same.
Yeah. Going from there. So, what's the name of the RPG that we're playing today?
Mutants and Masterminds.
Yes, Mutants and Masterminds.
All right, now this is a pretty bog standard point by character system. So basically, there are archetypes you can follow and general guidelines.
Yeah.
But basically, it's here's a bunch of points, here's a bunch of abilities. They each have costs. Spend wisely.
Yeah. Basically it.
And there are certain limits. You can only go to certain bonuses depending on the power level of the game, blah, 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 blah. Now, thankfully, one of the supplements, they actually talk about Ming China.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there's one, it's called, like, the Time Traveler's Codex.
Oh, okay.
And it goes to different eras of history, both and, like, including, like, the future and dinosaurs. But, like,
Okay.
it talks about, like, in any given era, the coolest spot to be.
Oh, all right.
And they, at least according to these authors, so, like, it's like, I would have never thought Ming China.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah.
But that's there. The Aztecs and the Triple Alliance, that's there. Islamic Golden Age, you can do that.
That's really cool. Okay.
But also, there's just also the West, if you want to be cowboys, superheroes.
Well, yeah, that's the generic one.
Yeah,
out
like,
of all those.
oh, there's like something generic, and they went, huh? And they were something I would have never thought that, but I'm sure a larger, like, somewhere there was a lot of in between ones too, where I wouldn't think they'd be too generic, but just I would have thought about it.
Right.
Like, this one is probably what I would run a campaign in, just given my own interest and the people I play with.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little guide for the golden age of piracy.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, if you want to be pirate superheroes or privateer superheroes guarding the waves.
Yeah, literally fighting Davy Jones.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. I love that.
And then funding your trip by boarding Spanish vessels and stealing their rum and gold.
Yeah, no, I'd love that.
Wow,
that'd be great. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I could dig that.
Stay tuned for details, my friends.
So does this book have a? We've read like Nightbane and like a lot of these different kind of books themselves. Does this book have like a story of why everyone's a superhero?
No, they're all like not everyone's a superhero. Superheroes are relatively as rare as comic book superheroes. There's maybe 3 dozen on the planet.
Oh, okay. And you just happen to be one, or
yeah,
okay, gotcha.
You can make your own, but the generic world, I want to say, is like Earth 01735 or something.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, they start adding more as supplements go, and they give like an evil organization, this and that.
Right.
But it's basically just, here is our generic superhero setting.
Yeah.
Here's a bad guy example. Have fun.
So they leave a lot up to interpretation.
Yeah, and later supplements, they do really fill out that world.
Yeah.
But then they also give rules on how to reasonably play a super intelligent cyborg dinosaur in case you want to do that. Or not. If you just want to play a normal dinosaur, there's an example character for freaking raptors.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah, no, they're very big on well, here's our world. Here's how to also play in the real world too, if you want to do it in different areas or something. Or whatever.
Yeah.
It's your game.
Have fun. Have you ever heard of Tammy and the T-Rex?
No.
Okay. It's this movie where a kid he gets like beaten up by like a bully to like near death, right? Because he's dating like the bully's old girlfriend. And then he gets taken from the hospital and he gets his brain transplanted into a robotic dinosaur.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and then he's just going around murdering people and trying to get back with his girlfriend and trying to get his body or some sort of body back from his brain to get him into like a human again.
Not sure I'd want that.
Yeah, but you're in a giant robotic dinosaur and you want to have sex with your girlfriend, so there's only certain ways you can do that.
I guess.
Yeah.
Kevin's watched enough hentai to know where that goes.
I guess.
And enough Nicolas Cage porn.
Which,
no, I did not look for the face-changing Nicolas Cage porn.
Yeah, the deep fakes Nicolas Cage porn, yes.
I have spent enough time looking for Nicolas Cage porn, and frankly, I
don't give a damn.
Although, frankly, I had other things I want to talk about, but I do promise, eventually I'll make Kevin watch some deep fake Nicolas Cage porn.
I really don't like this idea. I hate it, and yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Moving on.
Yeah, so we made characters, and we decided to kind of stick towards vaguely the movie we watched.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone off a little bit.
No, but at least I know where you were going.
Yeah, that's fair. And I know where you're going.
Yeah, so uh, the game is divided into a few different categories. First one is stats. Cost 2 of your power points, you get 1 stat point. Ironically, power points, it may or may not cost 1 power point to get a power.
Point.
Rank.
Rank.
You spend points to get ranks. It's
How
like it's the same as 3.5 D&D. You
Okay.
have a certain amount of skill points,
Right.
and you spend them to get ranks.
Okay. How many bits to a buck, though?
4.
Ah.
So the stats are strength, stamina, agility, dexterity, fight, intelligence, awareness, and presence.
Yep.
Now
and you can also take a negative into a certain one to get a bonus amount of points.
you could be minus 10 on all these if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do that, and you have a mech suit, and you'll be fine.
We'll get to that later, but yes. Yeah, well, you'd want a decent fight score.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. To actually make that impactful. Yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, I'm just gonna go through my stats real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Strength 4, stamina 10. Stamina is important. It's one of the defense stats. As is agility, which is 4. Dexterity, fine motor skills 0. Who cares? Unless you're firing a gun, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fight 8. Intelligence 0. Awareness -10. And presence 4.
Okay. I went for strength 10, stamina 10, agility 3, dexterity 0, fighting 10, intelligence -10, and awareness -10, and presence +10.
Yep. You can then, of course, there's defenses derived from those, and you can purchase defense ranks separately for only 1 point.
Yes.
So, for example, my fortitude and will got buffed by 10.
Yep.
Kevin, you want to go through yours? I don't care if you go through every individual skill and rank. That might get gratuitous eventually.
Yeah, I think we're fine on that.
Okay. Next, some skills. Skills are basically even more specialized uses of stats. And now, between the two, you can only have a +10 bonus.
Yes.
Because our power level is 10.
Right, so it's limited up to there.
Yeah. To answer anyone's question, if you have a power level above 9,000, you could probably kick Yahweh's ass?
Probably is the key term. We're not exactly sure how good Yahweh is. My Jewish friend, how is Yahweh?
I mean, one guy just randomly wrestles him, so probably...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay, so speaking of... Okay, so, rewind. We gotta talk theology for a second.
Fine. You can have that stupid... Does he wrestle an angel, not Yahweh?
I don't remember.
I think it's an angel.
Okay, I know. That was my... Actually, at the end of this, we'll talk theology.
Okay.
That's another weird thing that came up this week.
Yes, it did.
And, no, not what you're thinking.
Oh, okay.
Way different, and another one of these things I could easily throw at you, and it's weird. All right, skills. Let's get more. So I have like close combat, intimidation, and acrobatics.
Nice.
And I basically took those. So with my stats, those would be maxed. So like I only have 2 ranks in close combat because I already have fight of 8.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now the difference is, of course, with close combat. Fight can be used for other things, like it's also like you add that with your events for parrying. You don't add close combat to that.
Right.
My character has no parrying.
Well, same here, but yeah.
If he either blocks it basically or by sheer skill or doesn't.
And here we are.
Yeah. Next is advantages, and these, if you've played D&D, are your feats.
Yes.
If you played Shadowrun and somehow haven't played D&D,
whatever weird kind of.
I'm sort of envious, honestly, if you didn't start with D&D.
Huh.
Advantages are your advantages.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Now there are flaws introduced in different books.
Right.
I don't know know where they are exactly because or maybe you have to do it with power flaws in different ones.
Right.
Because I remember reading about in the power book they have of cool ways to make powers.
Yeah.
There was one who made a character very similar to mine who is the master of the honey badger style, but it was like a Norse berserker. And I remember copying that one directly into my campaign of this I ran with my students.
Right.
Their arch frenemies was this all girls school on the exact other side of the country.
That's really cool. I like that.
But I
totally spies group, I guess.
Well, yeah. Basically, what happens is I kind of used them to see how well they were spending their points, so I made a bunch of characters.
Oh, right, and that's like a direct comparison
of their exact power level, and I compared how many they what their points were spent in, and
right.
Just okay, let's see how well you're using everything. This is an even fight.
Yeah, and then did you just totally destroy them?
Yes and no. It depended. They fought a total of twice, and mostly fought side by side. They were frenemies. One person who wanted to be the anime protagonist, and basically did it. Had this awkward love connection with one of them. I don't remember what it was, but I refused to roleplay that with him. Yeah. I literally just nope, roll the die. Imagine whatever you want, my dude.
Let's move on.
Yep. He could create these weird bone fig structures things.
Oh, from Naruto, Kimimaru.
Yeah, but he could do a ton at a time.
Oh, he wasn't limited. Okay.
Yeah, so his primary ability, as soon as he figured out, was I can just drop this.
Oh, okay.
So he would just make it, but from any point in his body, so a ton would reach up his arm, and they're doing close combat, and then just pow.
Yeah. Pow, wow.
Which did weirdly modest amounts of damage. However, I looked at the falling rules, and it was this is less damage than I was expecting, but basically it bypasses all armor.
Oh, so that's a big plus.
So it's always this amount of damage.
Yes. Okay, so it's always pretty static, and then yeah.
Now, actually, before we get to powers and everything, we should talk about damage in this combat.
Yes.
So this is a system where you only need a D20.
Which is cool. I like that simplification of it.
Yes, and everything is based on thresholds.
Mm.
So your thresholds, if you're fighting someone, are based on their parry and stats and all that. And you have to roll above that number to do anything.
Right.
And if you roll above that number, then you look at your damage and add that all to it. And for every 5 points above that, you get an effect.
Yes.
And it's a little bit of a wound or something. So they get -1 to certain rolls from then on out.
Right. And that positively affects them again, pushes
them
forward.
If it's above a threshold, I think it becomes -5.
Ah,
so this makes it easier and easier to get the do extra 40 damage for them to just be out.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
Now this is excellent because while damage is a static thing,
right,
you only need to roll 1 die, and depending on how well you hit, that gets added to the damage.
Ah, yes. Okay.
So if I succeed by 10, and my damage is 10, all right, what's your resistance? Okay, 20 come at you.
And here we are.
Yeah, so that's actually a pretty cool. I enjoy Kevin and I, too many K names. Have been playing Fate Accelerated.
Yes.
It has basically the exact same thing, where it's the difference in between the two rolls are the damage.
Yep. And the only difference here is that you roll only 1 die, a D20, compared to rolling a bunch of D6s with pluses and minuses on them.
They're really D3s.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you're right, because they have the blank or the plus or minus.
Yeah, it's plus, minus, or nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's designed for the bell curve idea.
Oh, right.
To make fairly consistent ones, but have absolutely necessary times to use your rerolls.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Now, the advantages we used have things to do with that system. For example, I have all-out attack, so I can take away points from my defense in order to add to my attack rolls. I also have power attack, so I can take away from my attack rolls to add to my damage.
Yeah, and I have things like trance.
What does that do exactly?
Um, takes my body into a near-death state.
Now,
That's about it.
Kevin, I decided, in the vein of the frog style, to do the honey badger style.
Yeah.
I nearly did the possum style.
Oh, the pause. That would be great with trance.
You're way closer to that.
Then, yes. Um, so let's get a little into that. But you took the honey badger style. I went more with the spaghetti arm.
Now, for the all of you who don't know what he's referencing there, neither do we, because we cannot remember the name of the movie.
We did talk about this movie before on the podcast.
Yes, where they had like the weird band and everything.
Yes,
And,
it was this anime film that we saw.
He was the look. It was. Kevin thinks it was spaghetti arm. I think it was spaghetti fist style. I'm frankly okay and a little bit surprised you didn't go with like Ulan femur or something.
Oh, I tried to make it like a little bit. I mean, if I'm wrong and it's spaghetti fist, then spaghetti arm just works fine
Yeah,
too.
fine. He's the master of the linguini shoulder.
Yeah, he's the master of the the udon wrist. These are all great. The
Angel hair fingers.
That's
terrifying.
That is terrifying. The panini elbow.
Yeah. So I just run a Facebook group called Biblically Accurate Angels.
Really? Okay.
And it kind of tries to Photoshop things to be like what angels are described in the Bible.
Yeah.
And basically it's always, all right, how many eyes can I add?
Oh, God. That reminds me of our Nightbane characters, really.
Yeah.
The stigmata eye monster elf thing that you made.
Yeah. But besides that, the only advantages I really have that matter are I have plus 40 to initiative.
Very nice.
Because you can get really high in initiative.
You're a fast boy.
Which is good because I have no awareness, so I will never, ever, ever add in surprise rounds.
No, same here.
But then I will get really angry and punch someone in the face.
Same here.
I also have die hard, move by action, takedown. But more importantly, I can smash real good. And then I took the extra super smash to go through weapons.
Which is cool. I like that a lot. That's awesome, yeah.
All right, and after that comes the real fun part. The
powers.
Now, the powers are purposely very malleable. And in later books, they give even like more creative ways or like different ideas of how you can make certain things into this or that, the other thing.
Right, so you can, make your own fantasy or your own imagination there into the ultimate superhero that you want to be.
Yes, but there are a few interesting things. For example, it's super complicated put in the book. It's really easy. They're called arrays.
Right.
So let's say I'm going to use the exact same example I used for Kevin earlier.
Yeah.
Let's say you're a
non-copyright character that is half hot and half cold.
Yes, he can shoot fire from his upper half and ice from his lower half.
Yeah, he's got blue balls, some would say. He runs hot.
He runs hot.
I'm cold. Yes, senor, no.
You're in and you're out. You're up and you're down.
You're wrong when it's right. It's white.
Fight, we break up. We kiss and make up. You! Okay, well, we have to stop.
Yeah, copyright.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could know what song we're singing if you are, a key music man.
Fun fact, my friends won't let me near her house. And not for the reason you think.
Oh, God. And not the reason you think.
The reason is they know if I get anywhere close to it in a month, there'll be an album about our breakup.
Oh, my God.
For the people that don't know, I have this weird habit of dating really rich women.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That is true. The upper echelon sometimes, yes.
It's weird how I'm this 1 degree removed from the 1% at basically all points in my life.
Yeah, you bleed escargot most of the time.
It's really weird, man. It's real. I don't know how I do it. But to the point where, like, I fish very close to her house. And it's like
you fight, you break up. Yeah.
Legitimately, they're like, we cannot let you fall in. If you get washed up and churn that in, we will hear you get sung about on the radio.
That'd be amazing. I would love that.
Like, the worst part is I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
Disagreed.
I can't deny it.
Mm. Mm.
Can't pretend.
Ah,
All right,
so glad we go on these tangents.
So the powers range from things like, I'm just gonna read off some of mine. Burrowing,
Yes.
immunity to poison, postcognition, which is one of my favorites because you know what just happened. I always like that more than precognition.
That's pretty cool. That's funny. I like that.
Yeah, precognition is also a power in there.
Yes.
But also, and they have these weird sidebar powers, which generally are either way simpler, like just damages one. But like another one is just powerlifting, where you get extra points to your strength, but only for the purposes of picking things up and
Putting them down. Yeah. Another one is dazzle.
Yes. What does that do exactly, Kevin?
So because my character is based on somebody who has a great musical ability, is what I would say to about that character.
So you didn't take any points in expertise musician.
I took expertise recorder.
Don't you put the harmonica?
I'm sorry, harmonica. Sorry, but that's why I'm called Spaghetti Western.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
I meant to change that, but yes, expertise harmonica. So I'm able to dazzle and confuse people by playing a wicked sweet harmonica riff.
Yeah. By the way, for anyone who wants to know my character's name, he goes by Blood Monk, but his real name is Madhook Ara.
Mm-hmm.
To the 100th of a percent of you that speak enough Tibetan to know what that means, it means honeybee.
And it sounds badass,
Because
dude.
I could not find the translation for badger, possibly because there are none in Tibet.
It's badgerless. No snakes in Ireland, no badgers in Tibet.
Look,
The same monk cursed them both.
So the problem was I did find some translation for badger, but it used badger in the sense of annoy.
Oh, not like the animal badger, but badger as in like, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. I mean, you don't give two shits, though.
No. Honeymaker don't give a shit.
Honeymaker don't care.
Yeah, so it literally translates to honeymaker, which is also what you call loved ones in Tibet, apparently. So instead of honey, it's, oh, honeybee.
I would also like a badgering loved one. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that could kind of work. Just like that ex-wife.
Yeah. But, got like poison immunity, burrow. And then you can add extra things onto those.
Heightened senses and such.
Well, I had to cut those for point reasons.
Yes.
But like, so burrow had the option to be penetrating, where I can basically go through anything that isn't a force field or a plot device.
Yeah, as you do.
And then I took ranks in damage, but to damage I also added not quite as many as I'd like, but different ranks in multi-attack. So my super attacks can be used, it's either all directed at one person, get +2 for each attack doing that.
Yeah.
I can make 4 attacks per turn against different people. Or I can throw out so many punches and kicks, it actually causes cover. Now, this was obviously meant for a gun.
Right.
But it's way funnier if it's fist fly.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Actually, the Viking character I made, that was one of my party's frenemies, did this, but with throwing axes.
Oh, that's really awesome too.
Like
just like kept on like.
Yeah, she was a way better version of this character functionally.
Yeah.
Because I just went all into suicidal.
Well, yeah. All right. Yeah.
But like part of the rage was all the pluses, but you could make a strength based range attack and had multi attack. So it's just like, which you could actually take like a certain penalties. In that case, it was on unreliable limited supply.
Right.
So she had 12 hatchets. That's it.
Yeah, and that's the limited supply right there. Okay.
She can throw them, but man, if she threw her last pair, she's just fighting with her fist now, and she does not have damaged fists.
Yeah. Okay. Unlike this character,
who is way more specialized.
Yeah, way more punchy as well.
Yes.
Which I can appreciate.
Yeah.
So we talked about that.
Yes. Now tell me about your powers, though.
Yes. Well, dazzle.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is damage, and the last one is probably the most interesting: elongation.
I'm
And
picking up elongation.
And I can stretch my arm to like 150 miles.
Yeah, it's something. One second. Let me. You keep talking. I'm gonna look at the exact. You put 10 ranks in there, right?
Yes, yes, I did.
Let me look up how far. So ranks correspond to way too many things because rank can. If you have a rank, depending on what the context, it could be a weight, a length of time, a length of distance.
Yeah, it's kind of a little confusing.
So, for example, this is fun. All right, so for rank 10, it is either 25 tons,
Yep.
2 hours. Oh, sorry, I thought it was way more than this. Only 4 miles,
Only, huh?
or 2,000 cubic feet by volume. If it's by volume.
Uh,
Now,
well,
I want to point out it basically doubles every time.
right.
So
So,
-5 is 6 inches. -4 is a foot. It doesn't. It's not perfect because like -3 is a yard.
okay. It's still like a good, yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's occasional jumps where it's like that's not right. You know, actually, 3,200 pounds doubled is not 3 tons.
No, it's not, but
Close enough.
close. Well, the math, the math isn't there, but it's fine. It's fine. So I've got that going for me. And Ted, what do you have for equipment, my
All
friend?
right, so I actually have to cut things because I did my math wrong and found out I didn't have that many points. So I
Right,
spent all of mine on two things. Well, two things that matter basically. A bunch of spying equipment,
of course.
or I shouldn't even say spying equipment. Basically, things to get around with. You know, the night vision goggles and a cell phone and camera,
Yeah.
and a specially crafted robe made of the foreskin of dragons by Tibetan monks, which gives me +10 to armor.
Is it the foreskin of dragons?
I had to think of the rarest thing possible.
And the foreskin of a dragon is so they got like circumcised, like he
Yes.
said, like circumcised Asian dragons.
I've been talking a lot about the Bible lately,
Oh, okay.
and the Old Testament circumcision comes up, and foreskins in particular come up a lot.
Okay.
Like
I
when
believe
Samuel had
that.
to bring like 400 foreskins back,
Ew.
it was like, I also was not touched in bodies, so I don't really know how that works.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
talk more about the Bibles later.
Willingly given up.
No, they weren't.
Okay. Good.
Unless they, I don't. Yeah, no, they all died.
That's gross. That's really gross. So going from
Go on, say it. Going from dragon foreskin.
going from dragon foreskins, which is what you spend your hard-earned money on. So you're, oh god, you're basically just like a walking dick. Like, that's fine. I got a bulletproof vest made of non-foreskin, and
Are you sure?
yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I got a giant warehouse made out of metal, which is kind of the foreskin of the earth, really. Or
I suppose. So, just
just to reiterate,
no, just a little bit of side note. This game has a bit of a power problem with equipment and bases.
yes.
So
Yes.
equipment, if I wanted to get a power that did 10, 10 points of damage plus my strength modifier, it would cost me 10 points. If I wanted a weapon to let me do that, it would cost me 2.
Yep.
Now, if it's something that basically is part of your character, literally or figuratively,
Right.
if you're a cyborg, obviously this just goes on your character.
Yeah. It's part of you.
Yeah. Tony Stark's like weird chest thing,
Oh yeah.
that's part of his character.
His heart, not heart.
Yeah. That glows for emotional effect and only for emotional
Visual
effect.
effect, yes. When he's sad, and when he's happy, and when he's
Making a point.
pissed off drunk. So
Yeah.
like anytime.
Yeah.
Thematically glows.
That's thematically, it's his mood ring, but it's for all emotions.
Yeah, for emotional scenes during the movie, yes.
Yeah.
So it's my scene ring. I I like that a lot.
Yeah, those are all part, but like, if it's equipment, it can be taken away from you.
Oh, so yes.
Yeah, it'll probably come back, or eventually you'll get the points refunded, but there's no guarantees about it.
Ah, so that's the
That's the
downside.
trade-off.
Yeah.
However, holy shit, is it good? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like in their gadget guide. Man, did a time machine not cost that much?
Which is kind of ironic, really. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once you get a time machine, all bets are off.
Yeah. Well, I want to go back in time and get a bunch of gold so I can buy
Yeah,
even more stuff.
like death lasers, like it's all pretty. Like there's a whole gadget book where it explains how to make cool tech devices with this, and it is not hard to be very powerful very quickly with that.
No, makes sense. I get you. I mean, doesn't make sense, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and warehouses are super bad. Like, there's a YouTuber called Puffin Forest who talked about his game where he wanted basically to play Mr. Freeze, and then ended up being Nick Fury with all of Shield.
Yes, very nice.
Because, like, oh yeah, and this is the room that allows this to be a TARDIS, where it's bigger on the inside than out, and here's the time dilator, and here's my legion of security guards.
And the hot tub.
Yeah, it gets really easy to be.
Yeah.
Like, if
To abuse that.
yeah, the Bat Cave costs like the same amount as the utility belt in points, not in money, in points.
Isn't that great though?
The utility belt might have been cheaper. Sorry, more expensive actually.
Yeah, but you can't carry around a bat cave.
No, but still, holy shit.
Yeah, no, you're right. That giant penny and that T-Rex.
And I don't mean like all the cameras, surveillance, the freaking butlers, everything in the Bat Cave.
There's only one butler that matters, though.
True. Jarvis. But
okay, fair enough. You know what? Fine. Yeah. Remember earlier we were saying like the mood ring?
yes.
I would love, just as like a joke, to get someone like a neck brace that was like a mood ring. So you could always tell at like old times what they're feeling.
Oh, you're in pain.
Oh wow, constantly red. I see. Wants more opioids. And changes the yellow. So yeah. Well, Ted, before we get on with what we would rate this game, can you please tell me and the audience here about Mr. Deku?
Oh yes. So I think I mentioned this before.
I'm sorry, non-copyrighted green-haired boy.
Yeah.
Who loves Big Man?
We'll call him Giku.
We'll call him Giku. That's yeah. You know what? You know what this is? It's a full circle.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a full circle. All right, tell me more about Giku.
So, in the
Boruku.
your Vigilant college series,
Yes, of course. Yeah.
which my campaign of this with my students, which is now done, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They all kind of sucked at playing it, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fun fact: they really like money. And playing a system where that's not really a thing, not that interesting to them.
Yeah, fair enough.
And they always just ended up being arguments about who had the better character all the time. It's like, stop comparing the fucking speedster to the flying dude.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay, yes, I can erase your quirks. What about it? It's like, okay, how does that compare to shooting bones? Or how does that compare to melting into shadow? Like, stop trying to compare these things. Yes, you can do the most damage. How many times have you actually been in a fight? About once every other session? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Y'all should have took more points in computers. I came up way more often
than you would think. Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
But they were working with someone with a time travel power, and would help them go and find different areas to save and everything.
Right.
They had the highest potential to change history,
which is good.
And at one point, they said, okay, to prevent so many things, you need to. And I left it at this for the session, and then we didn't play for a month.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, guys, you're going to need to go to Japan and kill a boy named Giku. And then I'm like, and at session there, and there were all the kids were like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
Turns out they didn't actually have to kill him. They said to make sure he never met All Might.
How did that go, Ted?
Poorly. So, at first, they thought of explaining things.
Oh, like to him, and then, okay. So they just wanted to, like, talk it out with him?
No, they wanted to talk it out with All Might.
Oh, but
These kids are dumbasses, and violence quickly broke out.
Did they get destroyed by All Might?
Well, for the idea of paperwork and following basic procedures, or even just calling 911 or something,
Yeah.
didn't work out very well. So yes, they fought All Might.
How'd that go?
Poorly.
Yeah, I can imagine. Did they all get beaten in 5 seconds?
No.
Did they kill All Might?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it lasted longer than expected.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Possibly because they
Did they take a hostage or something?
No, they knew about his weak point.
Oh.
Which they attacked.
Oh.
Causing irreparable permanent damage to All Might.
Ah.
Which made All Might have to... They succeeded. So All Might immediately had to go with his former sidekick's choice.
Oh, I see.
Which was the end goal, but then that guy needed to find who hurt All Might.
Ah.
So suddenly, frickin' LaBillion, copyright.
Yeah.
LaBillion. Became the team's arch nemesis.
Wow.
And he was on the right. Like, he was in the right. They were looking for the people who somehow found All Might's secret weakness and literally stuck a knife into it and twisted it at about 500 miles an hour.
Ah. That sucks. That really sucks. Wouldn't it have just been better just to save Giku from the...
I was hoping they'd just go and find the slime monster and kill it.
Yeah, that's what I thought they would do.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
I have the slime monster statted out.
Ah. That's where you're holding...
I did not have All Might statted out.
Okay.
I was not expecting them to... At a certain point, like, I expect them to try to talk to them ahead of time or something. That was an option.
Right. Try to convince them, like, using words.
Man, trying to break into the world's #1 hero superhero agency.
Oh, yeah, that was a bad idea. It's poor.
Threatening multiple people inside, saying they need to talk to him.
Okay.
Fighting off the police who were called when several mad American boys were found in Japan screaming at people.
That's great.
Yeah, unfortunately that campaign ended one session after that. But they knew Lemillion was on their trail.
Oh, God.
Which, with now One for All.
Oh, yeah, so even, wow.
Yeah, no, he has One for All, plus his own powers.
Yeah, but
he just phased through the planet occasionally. Nowhere was safe.
To be fair, I would expect him to have to get used to it. After,
they had like 6 months.
Yeah, okay. Alright, so that makes sense. Yeah. So he's dead. They're dead.
Yeah, they were going to have to suddenly, it's like, oh, okay, you did it, not the way I hoped for, but I'm going to keep you alive with time travel powers, I guess? And, like, it was going to be, like, very quickly them, like, fleeing.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they would have to. So, you know what would have been great, too, is they have to go back in the past and convince themselves to not do that thing, and then
That'd be hilarious.
You roleplay them as their own.
Immediately attack themselves.
Yes, and then All Might comes. And then they try to kill All Might, and you're trying to stop it from happening.
So, yeah, that was...
That'd be great.
Yeah, that was that. original information we're given, I thought Lemillion would have been the better choice.
Right. Given everything that you know. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
However, I understand now with the additional chapters came up that is no longer the case at all.
No. Yeah. It's a little harder to make that argument now. Just a little.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't fault me for holding that opinion at the time.
No, definitely not. No. But no, it's I love that story, Ted, because it just exemplifies the perfect perfect escalation of events to go perfectly wrong. And why role playing is so much fun.
Yeah. Once again, was not expecting to have to play All Might, and I think he has like plus 50 to this.
Yeah.
Because I tried to make it right. It's like he's not perfect, but
he's nearly there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It was really fun just shouting out like Boston Smash and shit.
Yeah, and was it Georgia Slam or like a bunch of those kind of things like Alabama Brand?
Yeah, it was very fun.
Yeah, I could dig that. So Ted, what would you rate this RPG that we make characters in?
Out of the 150 points that we had to make our characters, I would give it a 102.
102? Okay.
And no, that's a little low. 122.
Okay.
It's a little high. 111. There we go.
111. Okay. I would go for an 80 personally. I think some of the stuff in here from what I was trying to make like building wise of the character is like a little bit clunky.
Yes, and they do. I think the guides from later books do help with that because basically there's just like lays out how to do clunky things, and how you get there is still kind of clunky.
Right.
But like, if you want this end effect, here's what you buy.
Yeah, to do that, do X, you need to do Y.
But that's not exactly pro the game either. That means they have to make supplemental books to explain. All right, so here's how you make a Berserker Rage.
Yeah, and that's kind of a problem in and of itself.
Yeah, here's how you make a knife that you can stab in someone's will and soul.
Yeah.
You could sit down and figure that out with this book. I don't got that kind of time or patience.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so that's why I'm going lower on this for like an 80 out of 150.
Yeah. I've played this a bit. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I didn't think the system was perfect, but it had less problems than you'd expect it to. And particularly because of how things worked in that. I honestly, maybe the universe I played it in where it's like, no, guys, you only get one quirk. You can't have multiple powers and all that jazz.
Right.
Helped it quite a bit because that forced them to kind of make all-rounded characters. Because one of the pitfalls is over-specializing characters.
Yeah.
I
mean, what you're saying.
Half of superhero stuff is drama anyways. So you really have to, make a character that can, charm and all this jazz.
Right. It has more than one use.
Yeah. Watch any Smallville for
reference.
Yeah, for reference.
All right.
Or even like a lower scale, like in the same period, Buffy.
Oh, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, yeah.
Buffy is a low-level superhero. It fits pretty well. You can make Buffy in this pretty well.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, actually. So, I agree with that. But thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of Downtime in the Apocalypse.
Oh, Kevin, you don't want to get more controversial and me talk about the theology stuff I was going to mention?
No.
Okay. I'm just going to say the poem it's part of, or quote it, happy is he who bashes the little one's head against the rocks.
Well.
Now, the question is, does that get better with context?
Or does it get worse?
It definitely doesn't get worse. It's whether or not it gets better, and by how much.
Well, we'll leave that for you people to decide, the wonderful listeners to this
podcast.
Yes,
because I don't want to force Kevin to too much controversial talk, because I'm going to do that weekly.
Yeah.
Or not. Depends whether or not I get asked weird shit.
Here's to my hope that everyone just assumes your name is Brian. and then they just don't talk to you.
Oh, everyone talks to Brian. People love Brian.
Oh God! All right.
But Brian only gets Brian gets random hugs and shit. Ted's just that weird dude in the back corner.
Oh yeah, so I'd rather you be Brian and just get the love.
I think I'd rather be Brian at this point.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Brian's got it going on. Brian's really liked and respected, and Ted's just
Brian's got his life on track. Brian's got something going on there.
Ted's the kind of guy who doesn't remember to print out sales reports.
So you know what this reminds me of is the alternate version of Ted, which is apparently Brian.
Yeah, actually, Veggie Ted changed his name to Brian.
Oh,
probably,
yeah. Meet Ted. Meet Ted changed his name to Brian.
Man. Yeah, just not even joking. At a point in time, I was considering changing my name.
Oh, really?
Well, one, Ted sucks. No one actually thinks it's my real name. And this is an issue because multiple times, me and my father, who have the same name minus the junior and senior, have got each other's bills. At one point, he picked up my medication on accident.
That's not good.
Or like multiple times, my dentist and doctor, for unknown reasons, have told me I don't have insurance because they billed to Theodore McCarty.
That's not good. It's not good at all.
It is like legitimately a problem.
Well, if you change your name, then people can't call you Teddy Bear for whatever reason.
No, but you know what? I can just sign Brian, and no one's going to assume that's a nickname or pseudonym.
That's true. You know what? That's true.
Which, ironically enough, it is in fact a nickname and pseudonym right now.
And there's the ultimate irony. Thank you everybody for listening. We'll talk to you next time.
Have a good one.
All right. Bye.